what's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everyone tonight.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Collection Wars. Thank you for your Saturday night, guys.
Always.
Um, yeah, it should be a fun one. There's a lot of cool updates, a lot of cool stuff coming out. So
That's
should be
right.
a fun one. I like that background you got there.
Yeah, Mr. David Boudreau.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, we might be mentioning something about the Wampa,
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
Wampa.
yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows I sure the hell love Wampas. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought that was something that needed to be in the background.
Oh, absolutely. And
And
just a heads up, yeah, David is going to be launching his website and all that. So keep an
yeah,
eye out for that. Obviously, you guys that know David, he's such a talented artist and
mhm.
he has such a passion for this stuff, and it shows in his work. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for even bringing that up. Yeah, and there's a big glare, so I didn't like this thing, but this
yeah.
thing where it's displayed normally in my collection, the greens in the background and the
Mhm.
greens, the way I did the what do you call that? The border around it.
Yeah. The mat.
Yeah, the mat. It's just blends perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, guys, I want to first and foremost apologize for last week. Michael, so we pre-recorded the Gus Lopez show, which, by the way, thank you so much for all the support on that video.
Yeah,
You know,
thousands.
yeah, I mean that obviously Gus's collection is insane.
Mhm.
Um, but Michael pointed out, so I uploaded that video while I was in Florida, and apparently not thinking about it, I set it for like our normal scheduled time, and apparently my phone had already switched over like everything to East Coast time. So apparently, yeah, it did it. I guess it showed 3 hours before. So
Yeah, and I hopped on and I'm like, "What the hell?" It says 3 hours ago because I wanted to say hello to everybody while they're
yeah,
watching and stuff, and, we always like to do that if we get a chance, and
yeah,
I'm like, "What the hell?" I mean,
yeah. Yeah, no, I was also thinking about it because I always joke around with the crowd whenever we have a pre-recorded one where I'm like, "What are you talking about? We're live. This is live."
yeah,
And
exactly.
but yeah, so that was my bad. I was on
It was good.
East Coast time, which again, even I just got back mid this week, and on Wednesday we stayed up in Florida
A long
for
time, right?
8 days. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which was great because we avoided all the flooding down here
Yeah, I was
in
gonna say, you
California.
guys, I heard about that, and I remember when we had, what's his name? Steve Neal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he was talking about, I mean, they were just now finishing up their house that was flooded out from, I guess, months before.
No.
So,
Yeah. No, San Diego got hit really bad down here.
mhm,
And, all our family members would be like, "Oh, like, what are you guys doing?" Like, we'd send pictures of us in Florida.
yeah.
And over here it was just all ugly and gloomy. And I was sending pictures back like poolside, all nice and sunny. Like,
Yeah, you
I mean,
said it was kinda up and down in Florida, right?
you know what? It was pretty consistent actually. It only rained on us maybe like once or twice, like early in the morning, and it just kind of
Yeah,
sprinkled on us. But what was funny is that so here in San Diego, it's an average of about 70 all year long, right? And that's what the weather was like in Orlando. But apparently all the natives were like, this is cold, 70's too cold for us because they're used to a little bit warmer weather. So even our Uber drivers and stuff, whenever we talk to them, they're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, it's really cold. I'm like, well, it's like 72, like it's
yeah.
perfect.
That sounds
Yeah,
kinda like you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super fun. Obviously we went to Megacon and saw a bunch of our buddies there. And
Mhm.
the first person that I got out there were actually, you guys mind if I show you some pictures?
Yeah, let's
Let's
see
show
them.
let's show some pictures real quick. Um so yeah, so on the Saturday we went to MegaCon, and the first person, literally as soon as I walked out of the Uber, is our good buddy Joel, and we see Joel there.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah. And that was really cool. Just immediately saw Joel and I was like, "What's up, Joel? How you doing, man?" And yeah, so we went in and it was chaos, man. It was like
That was
and I
cool.
was it was organized chaos. So let me bring up the and this is my first time ever going to Megacon, but here I'll show you a little picture of when literally when we were walking in. This is
That's
basically
cool.
what it looked like.
Okay, that was because that's right. You went on Saturday, probably the most busiest day.
Saturday, yeah. So that was kind of the busier day. And it was again, it was just jam packed, man.
Yeah,
But it was cool in there. Got to see some cool stuff. Got like they had a whole Mandalorian set up.
man,
Uh,
that's badass.
yeah, we went around, just kind of seeing everything. Um, got to see some of our friends from the internet. Um, did you see this one? Look at
Yeah,
well, he's always around in conventions.
he
And it's
is. We saw him. I remember when Denise ran into that guy.
yeah, at Star Wars Celebration he was there, remember?
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so basically, we're just walking around, saw a bunch of our buddies there. We did something kind of cool for the kids because so my 9-year-old's like obsessed
hey,
with Stranger Things. And I knew that these two guys were gonna be there, and we didn't tell Kennedy about it. And we got there and we're getting in line, and I had a press pass, so I was like, pretending I'm like, oh, like we're gonna use my press pass to like see if we could see some of the other celebrities. And she's like, are there any Stranger Things people? I was like, no, there's nobody here. But then when we're in line, they call out over the speaker, like they're like, you know, team up photo or something for Mike and or I forgot the actor's name. And she kind of looks up and she's like, wait, what did they say? I was like, I don't know. Yeah. But the cool thing is, yeah, we walk in and she sees them too, and she just kind of, you know, freaks
that's
out and she's super
awesome.
happy about it. And
That's sweet.
yeah.
That's a
Um,
that's a great pick of you guys.
oh, thank you, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, we're walking around.
What's that one in the pink right there? Who you with right there? Yeah.
Oh, that one. So that's my friend Madison.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, they're all dressed up like Mario Brothers.
Very cute.
Look at this one. Like, I was wearing. Speaking of, Brad was saying he hopes Taylor Swift wins. Well, this is like a
Oh,
mesh.
that's hilarious, by the way. That is hilarious.
You're right, and it's not a Taylor Swift shirt. Obviously, it's Shin, right? But it was just like it was a cool shirt, and and the Shin girl, and she was like she plays like very like in all the pictures she looks all kind of stern and
I'm just gonna say that Taylor Swift thing. I know it's been blown out of proportion. It is annoying though. It's
no,
annoys. I like don't want them to win now, just
yeah.
just because of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
I'm not a
Um,
Taylor Swift hater, dude, but
no,
I just I don't know, dude.
yeah.
Anyways,
And
go,
then
go
later
Cardinals.
later that night, I went to an event called Mosh Isley, and it's like
Uh-huh.
it's like a music event where they play, the music that I listen to, and that was super fun. I mean, that was it was just a crazy time. Everyone has like their lightsabers, and it's just like a concert basically, but with a bunch of Star Wars cosplayers. Um, see if I could show you a quick video here. Um, there's a good one towards the end that I got. Like, let me see. I think it's this one. Can you see that?
Yeah, I saw you screaming out.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Were your kids there?
No, 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 no. This was yeah. My buddy Alex was there, who we're gonna have on the show next week.
Yeah.
Show his Indiana Jones collection. he was there with his wife, and we were just hanging out, and obviously just the Star Wars community, right? Like you end up
Mhm.
kind of just knowing a lot of people from the internet. But it's it's cool because it's like it's our people, right? So we're walking around, and
Absolutely.
you know, some people would be like, "Hey, Gabe," like
Yeah.
YouTube and TikTok and everything. So, but yeah, so that whole day was super fun, and then I got to show you guys, but I'll show you guys in a little bit. But we also went to all the Disney parks, and part of it, I wanted to shoot the launch bay because we've talked about the launch bay multiple times, and they closed the one here in Disneyland, so I wasn't able to get good high definition footage. So this time around, I was like, I have to just film it. I just
Yeah.
uploaded a little tour on my YouTube channel, but
Yeah.
it was awesome. I mean I that was
And
probably one of my favorite things because it was calm too. It was like
yeah, that's cool.
very quiet. Like you could just take your time in there and just
So when I was in Florida the last time, which was years back,
yeah
and I'm not even a frequent flyer like Gabe is. So those of you that aren't familiar with what Launch Bay is, they've got a lot of the studio models in there. They're remade studio models. A lot of them were built by artists that have done a lot of my work
yeah
actually.
yeah
But it's really cool that he gets was able to see it. So I'm looking forward. Gabe hasn't even shown me yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing what ships that they did have on display there. And it's kind of
yeah.
a sad deal that they don't have it open. And what like I don't know what the reasoning would be why they wouldn't have where people can go there and tour through that.
You know what?
Wasn't it kind of like a store at the same time?
At Disney, yeah, like towards the end, like at the end part of it.
Yes, yes.
At Disneyland, they turned a section into like a vacation club little lounge for people to go
Shitty.
there and sit. But I'm
Yeah.
sure all the models and stuff are still like deep in the building.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't just have it
Mhm.
open there.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, I actually like that more than Galaxy's Edge at times because I'd rather just see all this, and it's a lot of the original trilogy stuff, so it was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll show you guys in a little bit. Should we say hi to everybody?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people on.
we got Steven and Carla in the house.
And thank you guys for always being right there on the top most of the time, just waiting for us to hop on. Stephen
No,
and Carla, you guys are awesome, and keep doing your thing. You have really, really kick-ass content,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
love that you guys are just rolling along, and it's just keep doing it.
yeah,
You guys deserve. It's just
yeah,
fantastic. So,
yeah. No, absolutely.
mhm.
We got Alex in the house. What's up,
Hey,
Alex? How you doing? Yeah, we're excited to have you on the show next week and show your indie collection. We're
yeah.
always talking about Indiana Jones here, and it's funny, Michael. While we were hanging out in Orlando, the topic came up, and I was like, yeah, my favorite indie,
Oh
Temple of
damn.
yeah,
Okay,
Temple
that's
of
good. Hey, babe, will you give me my Indiana Jones? It's right in there, the Gentle Giant one. I want to show our
um,
boy that's watching. Hey,
yeah.
that being said, are we going to just wait and talk about it when he comes on, or
We'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait to talk about
I
it.
mean,
But
because he's what I would say is like a diehard like Steven in them.
and of course, as a diehard indie fan would be, you could only imagine what his favorite is as well.
Yeah,
So
it's the only one.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just now looking at this. I don't know if I should. This one I got in the Gentle
Oh,
Giant.
nice.
And it's funny because I was a man's man today. This was like out of a couple times out of the years. You guys know my wife frequents this Barbie collection,
Yeah.
and the Barbie convention that is. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, and I was going through this whole deal, looking at all these different you know Barbie dolls and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and I came across this.
Oh, nice.
And what's cool about this one is, I
Cool.
I have them all
Mhm.
except for this one. This was the second release, the big head.
The big
So
head.
they have
Yeah.
the small head version and the big head version, right?
Yeah.
And this thing online is going for 600 to $1,000. Got it for 120
What?
bucks. Yeah, yeah. It's a good find.
Dang.
Whether it'll ever sell for that, I don't think so. But yeah,
Is
it
it?
was.
Are
That was
those limited edition? Is that why?
yeah, yeah. It was
Oh,
a smaller run of those
okay.
versus the
Makes
regular
sense.
released ones.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a convention deal. I can't remember. A lot of times they did a lot of that back in the past. But
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get off track there. We were talking about
Oh,
our friend
yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, obviously, we'll spend some time with Alex next week talking about
Yeah,
his collection too, like all this stuff, all his posters, and
yeah.
we're all big indie fans as well.
Man, it was so cool. Those of you that tuned in last week with Gus's collection, it was a really really awesome because Gabe just out of the blue just mentioned, and it's not talked about too much, but we about a good majority of everybody in the chat and Gabe and I, we have so many posters, but obviously we just don't have room for them. And Gabe brought up, hey Gus, what about your poster collection? And as you guys that tuned in, I mean, we were able to see some really cool stuff that we normally wouldn't have got to see, which was really kick ass. And Gabe,
Yeah.
that background, the actual from the film of Hoth, holy shit, dude, that was so awesome,
Yeah. Or
man.
that piece from the dinner, right? Where remember
Yes,
where Han
we would
Solo
be
shoots
honored
Darth
if you would
Vader,
join us.
and he has that. Oh, I was like, dang, that's such a cool piece.
Yeah, our friend Brad that did a lot of that designed our shirts. He was the one that came up with our saying of we would be honored if you would join us at the Dark Side Brick Oven Pizza Company.
Yeah. That's
Shazam! But anyway, yeah, let's keep
Speaking
bringing
of
everybody.
another Brad, what's up,
Oh
Brad?
yeah,
How you doing? Hope Taylor Swift wins. Man, she's been winning all year.
she's her whole life she's been winning.
uh,
She's gonna
Justin,
probably be our next president, actually.
maybe, no, maybe. Justin, what's up,
Hey,
Justin? How you?
Gabe,
I'm like, all right. Um,
she'd probably
jumping.
win. I'm not even bullshitting.
She
In the
probably
world,
would.
the
Probably
country we
would.
live in, she'd probably win.
Oh, she would. Jump in general. What's up, man?
Hello.
Jens, what's up, Jens? How you doing, brother?
He's been knocking out some stuff lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Jens is the working man. He's always coming up with some cool stuff. Trent, what's up, Trent? How you doing, man?
Hello.
Got Chris in the house. What's up,
How you doing?
Chris?
Good to see you, Chris.
Got Justin. The Gonk droid looks awesome.
Which one? I don't know which one he's talking about.
Got one?
The Gonk droid. I'm sorry, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. All right, and we got Kelvin in the house.
How you doing, Kelvin?
We got Scotty. What's up, Scott? How you doing, man?
Barry?
Illuminator Star Wars from Russia. How you doing, man?
Badass.
Yeah. We got
That's so
Sean
awesome.
in the house. What's up, Sean?
Good to see you, Sean.
And we got Matt. What's up, Matt? I was in your neck of the woods, I guess. Well, I don't know if it's your neck of the woods. I don't know if you're near Orlando, but
Yeah, I think he is actually pretty close. Yeah.
We got Chris in the house. What's up, Chris? Got Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
So, Johnny.
Got Eric in the house. What's up? Jose. ¿Cómo estamos? Got Dewback Deliveries. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Did we already say hi to Justin? Yeah, I got Solo Fett. What's up? Yeah, the rain, man. It hit us down here, man. And we got Brian. Brian, we haven't seen Brian in such a long time, man.
Yeah, no
Welcome
kidding.
back.
Doing,
What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? We got Big Cat Pete.
Yep.
How you doing, man? Star Geeks. What's up?
Pete, he doesn't even know what Columbo is. Gabe doesn't even know what Columbo is.
Daniel Silva. Sonny, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Sonny?
So I wanted to just change the subject really quick and talk about a big release that's coming up soon. It's going to be up for pre-order on the 20th. And I don't know if you guys have seen some promo shots already and some some information on the internet. And a lot of people were trying to guess what it was because Regal Robot was posting some teaser pictures, and a lot of people were like, "It's gonna be a Wampa arm. It's gonna be a Wampa arm," and wrong.
I
It's the
remember. I remember. Sorry to cut you off. I remember
yeah
like a couple years ago talking to Tom about the
yeah.
possibilities, and he never would say, "Oh, we're going to do it," and I don't know
Oh
how long
no.
he's been thinking about it. Yeah.
And so we have today Regal Robot dropped their first look at the Wampa puppet prop replica. So we figured today, what a better time to bring our friend Tom Spina to talk about, the puppet a little bit. Just give us a brief, just jump in. He's like a news correspondent, kind of chiming in from um from out on the
From
scene.
from one
But
podcast to the next podcast to the next.
exactly. So
Yeah.
let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Tom Spina.
All right. Hey, what a scoop! All right, here I'm the roving correspondent for the Collection Boys show. What have we got today, boys?
That's right.
What's up, Tom?
I need a fedora with a press card on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey,
You need
that
a
that's
Graflex
Yes.
lightsaber light bulb.
Yeah.
I love the
or
shirt.
an
Tom.
MPP microflash if you want to go Vader. It's fine.
There you go.
That's a cool
But-
shirt, Tom.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
that's cool.
that's
kind of like the Blue
anybody
Harvest.
who's in the Regal Robot fan and collector Facebook group that we have. Just go to, if you're on Facebook, go search Regal Robot fan or Regal Robot fan and collector. It'll come right up. Join the group. We do exclusive T-shirts. We have fun. We just did a pin that looks like the old Kenner logo, but it's Regal, and we've done a bunch of contests. We actually gave away a piece of screen, like not screen used, but production used. Yeah, there you go.
Badass.
The last contest we did, though, actually gave away a piece of skin that was from like the Return of the Jedi creature shop, actual monster skin. So, like, yeah, you got to be there. You got to be in it to win it.
Oh,
Michael
awesome.
needs to be on social media a little bit more.
I know.
I'm telling him,
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, at least Facebook.
Yeah, just putting
man.
your
Like,
pretty face on YouTube isn't enough. Okay, you got to get in there.
oh man,
I figured
Talk
I'd get a
about the
t-shirt.
Wampa arm. I mean,
the Wampa arm. I know.
I
Well,
figure having over $100,000 spent with Tom, at least I'd get a T-shirt or something.
got it.
Hey Tom, thanks for. I know on a serious note, it's Saturday, and thank you for your taking a few minutes to tell us what's going on.
No, I always appreciate you guys having me on to talk about this stuff too. It was this was a last minute join in. Gabe sent me the link. He's like, "You think you can get in for a few minutes?" And I'm like, "All right, let's do this."
Just a couple minutes, because look, hey, if we're gonna show this landing page,
we might as well, get it from the horse's mouth, or if not the horse meat. Yeah,
exactly. So let's bring it up. So Tom, what's going on with this thing? And I know there's gonna be a lot of information, but
it's so you go back to when the movie came out, and the making of kind of only talks about Des Webb, in the 11-foot tall costume on the stilts, falling over, and had big kind of a very sympathetic face, I would call it, on the Stuart Freeborn costume. I think Ken Ralston said it looked like an owl, like it just looked too friendly and cuddly. And so, as a kid, I just assumed that the Wampa in those close-ups at the first two times you see him, like when Luke's there and he's like, "What's the matter? You smell something?" And he turns and just roar. I always thought that was the costume. And it wasn't. It was a puppet that Phil Tippett made, because again, and we posted this in the group. It was in J.W. Rinsler's Making of Empire Strikes Back book. He had a great quote from Ken Ralston saying, like, we were all full of ourselves and we said, like, we don't want that dumb thing in our movie. So, we want to do something better. And, Phil twisted George's arm and basically, my understanding is George said, like, if you could do it in a day, you're fine. Otherwise, no, And so Phil fabricated this really cool puppet. It's, about the puppet itself is about 16, 17 inches wide. It's about 17 with the fur, and and about 12 inches tall. And it's got a little mechanical jaw that opens. There were some cables, I guess, to try and move his brow and stuff, although I don't know that they really did that on the screen. But I first really found out about that puppet in the mid-90s when the Best of the Lucasfilm Archives book came out. And it's funny, I was like, I almost just reached over to grab my copy to show the page with the Wampa puppet on. But I got that book. I was actually in the hospital when I got that book, and it was like my only reading for like 2 weeks was this book about the Lucasfilm Archives, which is like the greatest thing you could ever have if you're trapped somewhere. And when I turned the page and saw that puppet, I'm like, holy crap, like that's only like this big, whatever. And so I was obsessed with that thing for the longest time. Yeah. So there's Phil with, I think that's Richard Edlund on the camera, and hiding behind the bounce card is Joe Johnston.
Yeah, you can tell.
I think Paul Hirsch was the one that technically shot this. But so they made this puppet, and the coolest thing is, what you see here, they just aimed the camera up so that you would see the sky in the background and not the green hills and the houses and whatever else is going on there. This was like an empty lot next to the old ILM facility at the time.
So that's the shot there, huh, Tom? That's
it's insane. Like you look at it there and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. And then scroll down and you see the shot from the movie a little bit. If you scroll down a little, Gabe, or whoever's running. Yeah. Like that shot on the bottom right is out of the movie. That's the same setup. They're not, they're nowhere near Finse in Norway. They're in the middle of sunny California. And it's just like such perfect movie magic.
Yeah.
And I built a replica of it for myself about 25, 30 years ago, late 90s, just for the fun of it. My handle on the RPF used to be Wampa. And I got it because I had built for a place called Amok Time Toys a life-sized Wampa for display for his store. And then I had made myself a puppet version because I just was obsessed with that puppet. I thought, and the as cool as the life size, like the special edition costume is, which is kind of loosely based on this anyway. The sculpt of the face is very similar. It's just the horns are more exposed, and the teeth are a little more symmetrical, and whatever else. Yeah. There is magic in that little puppet, and it's really, really wild. And it's one of these things where there's so many layers to it, and like every time we went back to the archives and saw it, we got to do 3 or 4 different trips that we had been on. We had them pull this out for us. The most recent one being just a couple of months ago. Actually barely a month ago. And we were still discovering stuff on the last trip that we had already made our prototype. And I came back from that trip and threw the prototype out and was like, okay, we got to make changes. We figured new stuff out. And the way we figured it out was because this is, you can't just like yank his mouth open on this artifact in the archives to go like, oh, what's going on with the teeth in the back. So we actually got an endoscope and brought that so it's a little tiny lighted camera on a wire basically, and ran that inside of his mouth to take photos of all the different teeth and to find the stuff that you couldn't capture with regular photographs or scans or whatever, and get those details right. And while we were doing it, we were even saying, we're like, we're not even able to see it with the naked eye on the real thing. Yeah. Why are we bothering to do this for our replica that no one's going to be able to see it on? But that's us.
Yeah,
that's Tom for you.
So now we're gonna officially call you. Your title should be Tom Spina DDS.
That's correct. WDS, Wampa Dentist, Wampa Dental Surgeon, or something.
Exactly.
Gabe was with us on the last trip, and he literally was like, I think I'm a Wampadontist or whatever. He's like, that's.
So, Tom, is it safe to say that this is hands down one of your favorites?
It is. It's always been a favorite piece of mine, and
Yeah.
I'm also, I have I got my start in puppets, with Henson and stuff. So there's always
Yeah.
a nice little connection whenever there's a puppet side of it. I love working with fur. I love working with hair. I know
Yeah.
that's not easy stuff to work with
Yeah.
on mass production level normally,
Yeah,
but
for
we've figured
sure.
out ways to make it work at our shop. And I love distressing hair. It's tough to see in these photos, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not just bright white fur. And it's also, it's not just fresh fur that's all straight and smooth either.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, we actually Rob and I took a picture. I'll have to see if maybe I can put it on the group someday, where it was like how it started and how it's going. And how it started is how the fur comes in, and how it's going is once we're done with everything on it. And
Yeah.
it's such a night and day thing. There's color in it. There's treatments to change the level of curl and to make it really random. And then of course the snow and ice effect, which we're doing the same thing that Phil did on the puppet to make sure that that's the same. There's tons of distressing on the skin, the teeth, the tongue, like everything is just aged.
That's so
It
cool.
it was tough to photograph because he's so white, and it's
Yeah.
like white
Yeah.
stuff tends to just blow out and you have no detail in it.
Yeah.
But I think the pictures kind of start to capture. I
Yeah,
did
you
a
can see
little,
the yellows. You can see the yellows and
yeah, there's like some yellows and beiges that are run through. There's especially like in the middle of the chest and on the edges of the shoulders, but like all the hair has a bit of that color. Just so that when you get it, it's not just boom, bright white, and
Yeah.
looks fake. It just looks like an artifact. So it looks like it's been there.
Yeah.
yeah, they I know in production, a lot of people might know this already. As you know, Tom, I
Yeah.
did a lot of research as well on this Wampa with Richard, and there was so much footage that was shot in Empire Strikes Back for the Wampa, but he was so wonky. This guy
Yeah.
was 10 foot tall, and I've got awesome footage of them falling over, and
Yeah.
they cut all these scenes where the
Well, let me
stormtroopers come in and
let me
Oh
bring
yeah.
let me bring up the group, because I know you posted
Oh,
um,
that
some
video kind of
pictures. Yeah.
shows some of the detail on them. Yeah.
Well,
and
the
I got
video, and I want
that
to
Wampa
show.
sign from you, Thomas. I've got it up there at the restaurant.
Yeah, the little warning plaques.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
All right, let me bring up. This is the Regal Robot group. Again, like Tom said, if you're not a member of here, I mean, you have to go sign up, because Tom and Rob do a great job at dropping some early sneak peeks and
Yeah,
cool.
you definitely get the sneak peeks. Oh, I love that shot from Phil's book. What's great there is it's a very rare shot of it without the fur on,
Yeah,
on the face there, which
yeah,
was helpful on ours, because sometimes, legitimately you do have to do some guessing on this stuff.
yeah.
With fur
That's a fantastic book.
on. But yeah, that's Phil's book. If you scroll up, there's the video that I
Yeah,
posted today.
I wanted to show. You had posted. I love this.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Wampa
Yeah.
Wampa. No, I wanted to show the pictures that you posted early on. Hold on,
Oh,
this one.
yeah, there
Yep.
you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So
Look
that's
how awful that looks. Can you imagine though if there was CG, how it would have been like
Right?
if
Yeah, they
it
could
was-
have rigged him up and then just pulled the rigs out with no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
insane.
But one of the neat things that we figured out, because in the archives book and in the archives now, he looks like he has blood dripping down out of his mouth,
Mhm.
or real discoloration or something. And this is another thing that, like, literally days before we were shooting the photographs, we changed. We had always intended to do it. We did tests. We figured out what color paint it needed to get the right tones. We matched everything to the archives. And then we found out that it wasn't actually stage blood or anything like that. It was discoloration from the contact cement and the epoxies used that turned the fur different colors there. Because when you look at the movie, his fur is still white there. It's a little discolored, but it's white.
That's great footage right
So
there.
that's the way we did the final.
that
We
looks
were so, like, we were this close to put, like, I was about to put the blood on, and I'm looking and I'm like, let me look at the movie shots to see. And then as soon as I look at them, I'm like, wait, where's the blood? So then I start going through pictures at the archives over the years, and you could see the progression. In the early 90s, it's not really there. The mid 90s, it's not really there. By the mid to late 90s, it starts being there. And then, you know, the more recent you get, the more it's there. And it's like, that's, you know, and I've seen that before doing all of our prop restoration. I've seen contact cement turn red. And that's, you know, pretty much that's our assumption, what's going on there.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
That's super cool. But yeah, but it's obvious, like in this
right
shot,
in that shot. It's,
I mean,
yeah, it's white. There's some snow and ice on it, but it's not like, you know, blood dripping out of his mouth, which it was kind of disappointing for us because we like
you want to do that too. Yeah, cool.
But I mean, you guys definitely did, like you said, Tom, like the distress and even just a little bit of that yellowing to give it that archive look.
There's a good bit of that yellowing in person. You'll see when you guys get these things. Like there's not a lot of bright white fur on him. In order to get to it, you really got to dig down. Like
you really see it there.
Yeah, you can see, and it's like I said, it's heaviest here, but it really is all over. It's, you know, the top of his head has a bunch. It's just the light always blows it out. But that's the way you do stuff when you're shooting anyway, right? It's like, you know, nothing's ever white on screen. I was like, everybody thought the Rebel Fleet Trooper helmets were white for years, you know, and they're like this putty gray color. And every time I see one of them for real, I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like in my head, that was white forever.
Yeah. And I feel like that's all of Star Wars, right? Like, I think there's so many of these colors that people have been trying to nail down, but it's a lot of it because of aging that, you know, like the R2, right? The hypo blue, right? And so many years that was like the big question is like, what kind of blue did they use for R2? And
well, and it depends on the movie, because some of them it looks brighter blue, some of it looks super dark blue, like this Regal Robot fan group T-shirt I'm wearing. Some of it, it's, you know, it's more metallic looking than others. Like it's stuff like this is it can be maddening, you know, like especially we'll go back and forth on things where anybody who does like graphic design professionally or stuff like we're doing, you use what they call the Pantone books, which are color swatches to match colors of things. Well, I mean, I could probably count on one hand the number of times the color was actually in the color book. You know, it's always, every time we come back, it's always like, okay, the color was between this one and this one, or between this one and this one. Like you know, it's really hard to nail these things down. And then you've got to sometimes, so like the prune face maquette that we just did, the original darkened over time. There you go. But you know, so we brought him back to how he looked back in 1983. He's got a bit of pink on him. He's a paler beige color. He's got a little like grayish line stuff around him. Yeah, you can sort of see the pink there. But when you look at him now, he's like kind of browned up a lot. And, you know, it's always a question for us. It's like, are we recreating the intent? Are we recreating how it was? Are we recreating how it is? Are we going to recreate broken things? You know, so like, you've got to always strike that balance. I think another good thing with this Wampa is when Phil made the puppet, he wrapped the fur around this thing and it just sort of drapes over the front. But it's not complete on this shoulder. You can see it coming in on the side with Joe Johnson there. So there's fur missing here, and the back doesn't have fur on all of it. It's exposed, chopped up foam and stuff.
I was going to ask Tommy, and that was going to be a question I had with your research, because in some of the books, like I sent a book to Gabe, it's the one that has the Indiana Jones, and you know, it's got all of the maquettes in there. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Book? And it has a separate page with the Wampa on it. And I always thought, now I'm seeing all the fur, but I always thought it was an arm in front of him. You know what I'm talking about?
No, that's just rolled up fur.
It looked like an arm. I didn't know for sure.
Yeah, and it's one of these things where it's like, you know, do we do it with just this rolled up fur in the front and make the display, you know, 6 inches deeper and now it's too big for people's shelves?
Yeah.
You know, do we leave the back open and junky and stuff? So it's like, this is one of those times where it's like, you have to say, okay, there's sometimes a difference between a prop that you're going to see from only one angle for, as Phil calls it, 72 frames, versus a thing you're going to put on your shelf and study. So we did finish the fur on the back, and we did, give him a nice clean cut. We kept him the same height as the puppet is in the archives. And granted, that's a little bit arbitrary because he's just sort of mounted on a little wood block there. They could have made him as tall as they wanted. But we did something that feels like it's a little more museum-y, feels like it's got a little better presentation. It's got a nice black slab base to go with all the other stuff we do. I'm really happy where we ended up with it, but it's always a process figuring that stuff out. Rob and I go back and forth on this so much when it comes to this stuff. We agonize over these kind of decisions.
No, and I totally see that, right? Because like I think even Michael and I were talking a little bit about that, and I was talking to Lee about it too. I was like, oh, did you see the Wampa? Like they posted pictures, and we were talking about that, like the bib, like how else could you have displayed it?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, like it that's a
tough and not one. Everybody could hang it over the edge of a shelf, or do you want it rolled up like you said, like you thought it was an arm all these years? I posted a thing about misconceptions the other day because there was from Star Wars The Jedi, the making of a saga, there's a scene where there's a Gamorrean with like this burlap hood, and I always thought it looked wicked, and I never found a picture of a Gamorrean with a hood on. And it was like decades later that I realized it's like, oh no, that was a guy whose mask was put on, but the back of the mask was flipped up over the front to get him some air, and they just didn't finish dressing him yet and tuck that in. But in my headcanon, forever there's a hooded Gamorrean walking around this palace, and in Michael's headcanon in the archives, there's an arm sitting in front of the Wampa.
Exactly.
Stuff like that just happens. But this is what we go through as fans.
On the Wampa, like, so obviously when you guys were doing the research, so is it an armature? Like, is the jaw part like an actual armature, or is it more just like...
It's a mechanical puppet. And it's a really kind of cool, simple mechanism. It's got the ability to lean forward as a body, and it's got an ability to tilt the head up and down and to open the jaw. And then there was some intended mechanisms, some cable stuff for the brows, although I don't know how much those work, and even some little threads on the ears to kind of, I guess, pull them back or something. Again, not sure how much of that was actually used. Right. But it's it's lucky the way it was made. It's actually not extremely fragile, for lack of a better word. It's in great condition. It's not deteriorating, and it's because it's made out of urethane foam with slip latex skin and stuff like that. It's all fabricated, not dental acrylic. They're plastic taxidermy teeth, basically, like imitation animal teeth that Phil used. And when you look at him close, I'll have to post a close-up shot of the mouth to the group one day. He has multiple rows of teeth because Phil started with like a narrow kind of, not a wolf jaw because that would be too big, but some sort of like small dog jaw, fox, something like that. And then added other teeth around it to fill out the wider jaw. And then even did things like he broke some of the teeth to give it some character and things like that. And some of that stuff you look at in the archives and you think like, oh, is that intentional? Did that break? And so then you go back to the screenshots from the movie where you can see in the mouth and you're like, nope, broken tooth. There it is, so can I just... The Wampa dentist shows up again, Yeah,
well, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it goes to show like the level of I guess passion that you guys have towards this. Because look, you could have easily scanned it, boom, or get it done, whatever. Yeah. But the fact that you're going back and referencing a broken tooth, right? Like that level of detail is what, I mean, obviously what makes your stuff so great, and why we trust you and the team over there to make an accurate prop.
That's our way of doing it. And we're trying to do things that other companies just aren't going to do.
Yeah,
right? You know, you're not
guys
going
are
to have
great with that.
some big company coming in and making this puppet. Like,
Yeah,
you
no.
know, you'll get someone who makes a Wampa bust or a mini bust or maybe a figure or something like that. And it'll be a Wampa, you know, but it's like when it comes to this stuff, like when you want the replica of the prop, that's our passion. We want to look at it on the shelf and get the same feeling that we have when we look at the shelves at the archives.
Yeah.
It's the same with the maquettes. It's the same with the busts, all the stuff. It's always so that when I see it out of the corner of my eye at the shop, I go like, "Ooh, is that the? Oh no, that's ours." Okay, you know,
Yeah.
I took a picture of Christian Maggi is our digital artist at the shop. He did the scan cleanup on this, and I tortured him with changes on this because again, we kept finding new information. I kept wanting to get more accurate,
Mhm.
and I when I finally finished everything, I did the fur treatment and the ice and stuff on the final. I did all the finishing touches, all the styling, and I did a test photo with my phone. I just like held it up, took a quick shot of the mouth in particular, and then I brought it up on my computer and I was like, Christian, you got to take a look at this. He came in, he saw it, and I could see his heart dropped because what he thought happened was I had pulled up another picture from the archives and I was going to tell him, no, I found there's another tooth. You got to go change it again. And I said, no, that's ours. And he went, holy crap, that's ours. Like
That's awesome.
totally fooled him. And I like didn't even intend to do that, but like that's that feeling. That's what I'm going for every time. I want to take the picture and look at my phone and go like, wait, is that us? Is that when I snapped at was that when I was being a Wampa dentist or is that now? You know?
And I know it's very challenging on the hair, but you guys with Chewy killed it, knocked it completely. And I remember that like way back when we did my life size, and I was real hesitant because there's just not anybody out there. And then when I saw the workmanship that went into that, so being able to do something like this, it shouldn't be that hard to do. Maybe a maquette little wicket or something. But anyway, I was
I didn't know you like that.
Yeah, I know, right? Every
you
time,
almost
right?
never ask for a wicket. Okay.
Hey, but seriously,
Yeah,
fantastic on in the way you put this together with the hair, and that's a hard thing to get down.
It's the sort of thing that I'm lucky that it's just sort of in my wheelhouse and it's something that I've had a ton of experience with over the years, and now I can bring other folks on my team into this and teach them and get more people doing. I even things, what was it, Yak Face, the maquette had a bunch of hair work on it, and to see, we had a couple of newer people in the shop at the time, and to show them the ropes on hair and to see them getting to do it. And sometimes doing a project like that is great because it's like you're repeating the step enough times that by the end of it you're like, oh, okay, now I can lay hair, and now you can get into the finer points and get into the weird stuff.
The weak way is pretty cool.
I love the fact that you, with this piece right here, you've recreated 3 of I'm sure everyone's favorite puppets, right? So you did Salacious, beautiful, and it came out like the puppet.
Yeah.
Did the Rancor, which was a puppet, right?
Yeah,
the full size Rancor puppet, and now we got this puppet.
The Wampa.
Man,
yeah. There's a few other puppets in there I'd love to put on the list someday, but this Wampa really, so those are all like dream freaking projects for me, but this one really, out of all of them, this is the one that I have the most direct connection with.
It's badass looking, man. I can't wait to have one.
This was a fun shot. I was just testing the lights out, and I just took a wide shot, and I was like, "Ooh, there's our." But it's some of the first sort of paid gigs I got, if you want to call them that, making Star Wars stuff, was the Wampa. It was the Wampa related, and so I always feel this real connection to it. I've always loved it as a creature. I love knowing that this puppet fooled everyone for so long, and made them think it was somebody in a suit or some giant thing, and then you see it and it's this big, the head, and you just kind of when I did my replica of it, again, this is like 25 years ago, so I was working from a couple of pictures and I couldn't even do screenshots at the time. It would be like you'd pause the VHS and sketch,
Do you have pictures of it back then from what you have? What you did?
Yeah, I'll have to
You
pull
got
that.
to show those on the Facebook group or something.
Yeah, it's I kind of want to wait until after we do the sale so I don't confuse people.
Oh
And
yeah,
maybe think they're seeing this one because it's
yeah,
like
it makes sense.
I was
sense.
close, but not as good as this one.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I was maybe maybe 10 or 15% too big. It was a guess. Because that from Star Wars to Indiana Jones book has measurements in there, but a lot of them are wrong.
Yeah.
We've used that in the past as
it's a cool book for reference just to look at.
Oh, absolutely. And some of the measurements are close, but we discovered over the years going back and forth to the archives and stuff that like as we're putting tape measures on things, like, wait a minute,
Yeah, who's putting this together?
But that's also a book that was originally released in Japan and then translated and then re-released in the US. And so who knows where things shifted on that.
Yeah. So really quick, because obviously we're going to be super respectful of your time today. I know you got a heavy week coming up. And by the way, tomorrow, for everybody that's watching right now, make sure you guys tune in to Sithcast with our buddies over there with PJ, Sean, and Nilda. Tom's going to be on their show right after the Super Bowl. So
that's right. That's our Super Bowl. Okay.
Great. Yeah, exactly.
Sithcast.
The Wampa Bowl.
That's right.
But so make sure, because obviously they're going to have a full interview with Tom, and I'm sure you guys are going to go into much more detail about this. But just really quick, there's 2 editions that are going to be released, right?
Yep, Signature and Legacy. The Signature is Phil Tippett. The Legacy edition also has a signature from Phil, but has a one-of-a-kind Wampa sketch made by Phil. The Signature edition is $24.99. The Legacy edition, so there's your Legacy with some of Phil's sketches. The Legacy edition is $29.99. There is a payment plan for both up to a year. You can kind of set the duration that you want. And if you're doing the full term on it, it's a relatively small down payment and then like under $200 a month, which, isn't bad considering what you're getting here.
And I know you mentioned in one of these posts, you're looking to start shipping second quarter. Is that
on these they're basically already in production.
Okay.
We've started on face, like faces, jaws, teeth, ears, horns, eyes. All of that's going. The hair is going. The body for the production run. The mold is being made this week, so we'll be casting those up soon. So by the time this goes up for sale, these will already be in full swing.
Nice.
The bases are on order. So, I would say the earliest we'll be able to ship will be about 6 to 8 weeks because that's when the bases will show up. We also have to get the home inserts. But it's, we're trying on a lot of the stuff we're doing to be, really like almost ready to ship when they go up for order. So like
you've been really good with that.
We have a Temple of Doom prop that comes out on right now tentatively scheduled for the first week of March. Ooh. And by the time that comes out, we should be a couple of weeks away from being able to ship them. In fact, I think the foam insert will probably be the thing that holds us up more so than the props themselves. And then in mid to late March, we have another maquette coming out. And that'll also have a Legacy edition. It's going to be cool. It's a new person doing the sketching and everything. And that is also, by the time that comes around, we'll probably have about 100 of those ready to ship. So, for anybody that's paying in full, it might be something where like you put the order in and, it shows up at your house a few days later.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of these artists, Tom, that you collaborate with.
Yeah,
bringing them back from what they once did. I know some of them are still working, some of them are not.
A lot are retired.
I think it's really cool that you're spotlighting these artists as well as just not just showing the fantastic work that they've done in the past. But I think that's a really, really a real stand-up thing to do. And being able to collaborate with them is just so kick-ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's exciting as hell.
I mean, look, the reason we like this stuff is it's a connection to the movie.
Yeah.
And to me, it goes a step beyond. It's like, first you connect to the movie, then you connect to the artist who made it for the movie, and to have that direct, like where you have someone sketching like this, you have that direct connection to the guy who made it for the movie. Like that's
never been done.
Really
I don't think
special
it's ever
thing.
been done.
Yeah.
I don't think anything like this has been done. It's very original.
Thank you. Yeah, I gotta give the sketch idea was Rob.
Yeah.
And anybody who's in our Facebook group, Rob DiNicoli is our creative director at the studio. He's my right-hand man, though he sits on my left-hand side at the studio in a very small office. And we're always bouncing stuff back and forth. And he threw out the idea of, doing some sketches, and it evolved over time. It was going to be very different at the start, but, and some of that was even Phil's input that helped push us in this new direction. And, what we wound up with, I think, is really, really cool. And it's like, it's just a little, it's like, the step beyond just putting a signature on a plaque.
Yeah.
And
Just having
really gives
Phil
everybody
sit there.
something special.
Yeah.
Having him just sit there and just devote each
doodle,
little one. That's pretty crazy,
Yeah. Well, and especially Phil, because Phil's stuff tends to really go like outside the box.
Yeah.
He kind of starts off and it's tighter and tighter, and it's just, but there is a looseness and a craziness to his stuff. I mean, you can just tell even from those sketches, they look like, Wampa nightmare fuel. Some of them were just coming in on angles and giant mouths and snaggle teeth and stuff. And it's just, it's so good.
No, that's awesome. Well, awesome. Well, Tom.
All right.
We don't want to take up more of your time. Thank you so much. So just really quick.
Yep.
2 editions, signature edition, $24.99. Legacy edition comes with the sketch and the signature, $29.99.
Yep.
Both pre-order February 20th at 12 Eastern.
12 noon Eastern. 12-month payment plan option. And we'll be showing more of these over the next few weeks. And you'll probably see me on just about every podcast for the next week and a half. And then we're going to do a live video from our studio one of the days in the like maybe 3 or 4 days before it goes live for pre-order. And we'll be talking in much more detail about this and some other releases. So
this is definitely gonna sell out. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, guys, also subscribe. Just make sure you sign up to join the group as well. Really cool group. Obviously, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of familiar faces in there.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good gang.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Before we hang up, Tom, again, thank you for your Saturday evening and join us on the Rancor maquettes. A lot of people that are on board that are in our how are we looking on the release dates on those?
Those are in production. We're waiting on the foam inserts. We have the boxes, we have the COAs, we have the plaques, the sketches, all of that's done. All the sketches have been mounted up and framed and everything. I want to say there's about 20 of them that are painted and ready to go. And every week there's another, probably about 10 or 12 that are getting done. So they'll probably start shipping, I would say about 1 to 2 months is when they'll start going out. And then from there, it's going to continue. Our plan is really through the end of the year on those. Because there's a lot of parts to them. They're very complicated. We want to make sure we're keeping the quality high and make sure the paint's staying consistent. My guess is between now and the end of the year, they'll be going out about 10 or 12 a week for a long stretch, which if anybody ever orders something, you can always go back to the product page and we try to update those at all times. So bottom bullet will usually say the shipping expectation. And we'll go in and we'll update that if things are changing or if things look different when things start shipping. Sometimes we'll do that. But I think the important thing that folks know is, pardon me, we're doing our stuff in New York by hand with an incredibly small crew. So it's not like when Sideshow gets something, or when Gentle Giant or one of these bigger companies get something, and it's like, oh, these are shipping. And
Yeah.
it's, yes, we just got 10,000 of them in from China, and they're
Yeah,
all going
yeah.
to ship on Thursday. It's like, no, these are being made and shipping in waves, and that's the way we do everything. So, whether it's something big like the Tusken Raider busts, or these Wampas, or the Rancors, or even some of the maquettes, it takes, we have a start shipping date and then a through date. And so
Yeah.
for the Rancors, it start ships late Q1, and it's going to ship through the end of the year.
Yeah, a lot of us don't take into consideration that it's not just a beautiful little maquette that's being made. You mentioned it, the foam inserts. There's so much details that goes into getting this whole thing ready to ship. I know there's a lot to it. So.
And it always feels like there's one more thing. Anytime we think we're ready to ship them, so it's like, okay, yeah, these are ready to go. Wait, where are the COAs? Come on, It's like,
the attention to detail and the personal signature from Tom, that's really cool on all of that stuff. It's always something new.
And I'll tell you what, the other thing that people don't realize before I jump is that people like Katie and Christine and Ross and Tyler and whoever else at the shop happens to be working on packing stuff up. There are projects that will take someone a half hour or an hour to pack. There are things like some of the big giant Tauntaun busts that we do. That takes someone most of a day to crate, because it gets crated in a big thing. People don't even think about that. It's like, oh yeah, did that ship? It's like, well, no, Katie's taking orders and doing this and giving, keeping Ross moving on that, and Ross is doing that. And it's like, and in between, she'll spend an hour a day for a week crating this thing up. But everything gets that personal touch. Nothing's coming off of an assembly line. Nothing's coming out of a machine in a pretty box. Like if anything's in a box, it's because someone bought that box, unpacked that box, taped it up, put the foam in, put the piece in, bubble wrap this, bubble wrap that, put the plaque in, remember the COA, put the envelope, etc. There's all of this time that our hands are on something, and that's not even including making it. But that's that's the small shop. That's what we do.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And we appreciate that, Tom. And again, your team always does such a great job. And again, all our viewers, obviously, most of our viewers are big fans of all your work, and I'm sure they're usually the first, they're in
that first 5-minute crush on the website.
Oh, I guarantee
that are like jumping in and trying to get that. So again, we appreciate your time and your hard work, and I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those pieces that, I mean, it's going to be a grail piece for every collection out there. And thank you so much for making it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, no. I just feel lucky we get to make this stuff. And for me, this is a grail piece for me to own. And I know if I feel that way, there's got to be other people that want it too. So, it'll look pretty cool, no pun intended, next to my Rancor and Salacious and, all the other puppets.
Yep.
So,
looking forward to it, man.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much, Tom, again, for your time. And everybody, don't forget, Tom's going to be on Sithcast tomorrow after the Super Bowl. So make sure you tune in.
Thanks for your evening, Tom. Always good seeing you, brother.
Absolutely. You guys too. Take care.
Right.
Thanks.
Have a good night, man.
See you, Tom.
Bye-bye, buddy.
Well, there you go, guys. You heard it from Tom directly. A lot of cool information regarding that Wampa. Like Tom said, you guys are going to get a lot more information in the next, week leading up to the 20th. And it's going to be I really do think, I mean, this is one of those pieces, man. That's,
I mean, I've got a life-size one, and I want this one too.
I mean, come on, it's the puppet. You know what I mean? Like,
it's pretty cool.
Again, it's like the Rancor.
So this counts. This is a maquette. Is it a puppet, or is it count in the maquette? But does it count in the maquette line, really, or not really?
No, because it's an actual. Like it's the.
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it. I get it. Yeah,
it's like the actual screen-used Wampa, right? I mean, what it is. It's like the Rancor. It's like. That's the Rancor. That's the one we saw in Return of the Jedi, right? Like that's the one that they were using. So, but no, I'm super excited to see that, and
Definitely.
Hey, Jamanda, what's up, man? Yeah, it was great meeting you too at Megacon.
Beautiful one.
Yeah. Um. So
Uh,
let's kind of yeah let's chat about the rest of the stuff. So I know we're talking about obviously Megacon. I showed you guys some pictures.
yeah.
Um. Do you want to run through the stuff that's in the launch
The
bay?
launch bay. Yeah, let's see some of that stuff.
Okay. Let me bring that up really quick. Give me a second. So again, I just did a quick video and it's on my Star Wars Replicas channel. So I'm just gonna kind of skim through it. You guys don't have to watch it, but obviously the first thing, I love this thing, and even
And,
though it's not really to scale, it just looks so cool.
yeah,
Like
it
it's
needs to be sitting out front of my entrance of my property.
what's funny is that Jens commented something about that, and I'm like, Michael's probably gonna already
Oh,
been
that's
working on that.
that's badass. But I'd have to build the full size one. That'd be cool. Could you
It-
imagine? There's no restrictions out here. I can't build one. Look
right?
at that. Oh,
So
that's cool.
so yeah, so it's different, definitely different than the one in at Disneyland, right? They have
Yeah.
them more on these like two big glass cases, but they have two pedestals there with two ships. This one from the prequels, right? Yeah, it has to be from the
Yeah, I
prequels.
don't even recognize that, to be honest with you.
And it's such a cool ship. Like when I was
Yeah, it
looking at
is. It's
it,
badass.
that's actually really cool. You see like the little details, like the little TIE fighter wing on the top, like, and then this bad boy.
Yeah, that's really, really
And
cool.
you have one of these, right?
I
Like
do.
I
I
mean,
do.
same maker, same paint scheme, same everything, right?
Yeah, it's every one of them's different. There's a few other ones that have been built out there, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Salzo is it's just the
Yeah.
Salzo version.
Now, do you know? I mean, I don't know
The
if
thing is tall. That thing's huge.
yeah, and I don't know how much detail you can get into or you can kind of disclose, but is like obviously was it out of is it a kit? Is it kit bat? Like you know what I mean? Like is it
Yeah,
what
that
goes
so
what
so it was everything was found from original parts from the original, and then they cast it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, and then there's people that still argue it's not accurate, and
Yeah.
but dude, it's fucking badass.
Dude, that thing is just beautiful, man.
Yeah,
And the way they have it displayed too. I mean, I just
yeah,
loved it, man.
yeah. I still got to display mine properly too on one of the pedestals in there. That's the one of the things I still need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love
And did
the
you see
display.
look at what the name? Did you see the name?
No,
Hey, look at I was kind of shocked, but then I'm like, hey, it's Florida. You know? They look at they kept the name. I went too far.
oh, the slave one.
The Slave One, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, that's really cool.
It's still slave one to me. I forgot
Oh,
even about that since you said until you just said it.
oh, absolutely, man. I
Yeah,
mean, all of us. I don't think there's going to be a single person out there that grew up with these that is not going to call it the Slave One.
slave
I mean,
one.
that's just what it is. So here's the other little section. So obviously they have the Corvette there.
So the blockade runner right there is that thing. Do you know how wide that is? How long that is? Is that
It was
4 feet or 7 feet?
it was probably closer to 7 feet. Tell you the
Wow, that's
truth,
a studio scale.
it
7 feet.
was yeah, it was pretty big. I mean, it took up that
Nice.
whole space. It was probably the biggest ship that they had in that
Yeah,
whole
yeah. There's the A wing right there. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
that thing. So all of these are mic'd? You think?
So I don't want to say yes
Yeah.
and be wrong on that, but that so they were the Neeson.
Yeah.
Steven's name
Yeah.
he was the guy. Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. It's the
Holy
one from
shit,
Solo.
dude! I would love that.
Yeah.
I love that one. But yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not familiar with
Okay.
but I can tell you though it looks like the Nissan one. It's what I
Yeah.
have, and it was of course built by Salzo.
Yeah. The X-Wing. Which
Yeah, and
is
I don't even
interesting
know.
that they displayed it like that, not with the wings open, you know?
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I don't even know who did that model there. That's weird looking.
Yeah, got the B wing.
Yep, that's very nice.
Yeah.
It says the scale on there and stuff, huh?
It doesn't not
Does it
not
go
the
into that?
scale. No, it
Oh,
won't go into
that's
a
so
scale.
cool. Look at that.
Yeah, that thing's freaking cool.
Yeah, that's badass.
Mm. And then on the other side's the Empire stuff.
Holy shit, they have a Death Star in there?
Yeah, and it's pretty. I mean, I would assume around the same size as Gus's, but it was big.
Yeah, I sometimes regret going with the 2 foot one. Mine's a 2 foot round Death Star instead of the 3 foot round is what it was. But man, that's really cool. I love the displays.
Yeah, yeah, they
I
did a
love
really.
the display stands.
Look at that. Jeez.
It's all right. It's pretty fucking good, actually.
That's funny.
That looks really good too.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's real cool shade. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Come on,
But
Gabe. Let's
yeah,
get some close up of the wings.
of
Dude,
the
look at
wing-
that one. There's
the
a guy who made that black ship right there. I
Mm.
mean, huge. I
Mm.
forget what
That's this one was, I think, like a 4-footer though. This
Yeah.
one, the Star
Yeah.
Destroyer.
Yeah, so that's what it was. It was a 4 foot, the first one from A New Hope. And then we did like the 8 foot, the one that I have, the 8 footer.
But check this out, dude. So that's it for the models that they had there. But what I was really shocked is that once you start going in, look at this.
What
Look
is
at
that?
this display. It's
Oh, badass.
a life-size speeder, exact replica. Look how cool this display is. And it's a huge like corner display.
Yeah.
One
Man,
side
it's
it has
fantastic. Yeah. See what lighting does? I mean,
Yeah.
lighting is everything in a display.
Yep. Look,
And
it has
that
some
looks
concept art behind it. And then it also had this other like little model. And it definitely wasn't the studio scale one, like the one that they use for the puppets. It might have been
right.
just
Right.
and you'll see it right now. I get a little shot right there. You see it?
Oh yeah, that's badass.
It's almost like the size of the Kenner, a little bit bigger than
Yeah.
the Kenner, but
Really?
yeah,
It
I
looks
see
like
it.
it's bigger. Man, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm telling you,
I love it. I love it.
that
dude.
display was just awesome. Look at all the concept art behind it. Yeah, whoever set that up they did a great job with this. Look at, and then on top it has the McQuarrie concept.
Yeah, I like it. It looks
that,
very
right?
weathered. What is on the bottom? Is it like a forest backing like me and Yins did at Dark Side? What do they
Yeah,
do?
on this side is like an Endor. Yeah,
I remember seeing that. They had that there when I went.
yeah, yeah, and basically, I mean, that was it as far as props go. They had this.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool.
They have some stuff like in this cage, and like some droid parts in there. You could kind of see. You could see that's like the little drink tray that R2 has. You see little Camtono in the background. The eyes, those binoculars almost look like the eyes for like Johnny
Well,
5 or something.
yeah. I was gonna say that's pretty cool.
But yeah, there's a couple of little things in there. There's like a jetpack underneath, little backpacks. I think in my video I said I don't know if that's a snow trooper backpack or a Hoth or a Hoth soldier, but yeah, you have a little BB-8 that moves around. You can take pictures with them, and then of course you meet Vader in there.
Yeah, they did that when it was Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Yeah, and the Vader's all right. And then they just have a bunch of artwork. And what's cool about the artwork is that, so yeah, they have like one that's like they show all the stuff from like the films and all that. But they have this whole section with like all the Ralph McQuarrie artwork
Nice.
and all the concept art. I was like, that was really cool for them to really do it like that,
Yeah, look at that. That's fantastic.
And they're big too. Like they're big.
Yeah.
backlit displays.
I'm telling you, somebody, our buddy Lee brought it up,
Yeah.
but the McCrory R2 and 3PO, if somebody could create a legit statue and a real plated, it would be so awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome.
But yeah, they just
that's
again
awesome.
that I just wanted to get the models right. That was the most important thing to me.
Mhm.
The rest of it's kind of cool, like just to hang out and like I said, get away from.
Fantastic footage, dude.
Oh, thank you, man.
You
Appreciate
did a
that.
really good job.
Thank you, man.
Hey, I was gonna share on my last post an update, and obviously I'm gonna, when I get it here, it'll be here. Hopefully, it'll be here by next Saturday. As my life size Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, can you send me a
Yeah,
picture?
I'll send him.
Just
Yeah, it turned out absolutely fantastic for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
gonna send what I'm gonna send first is how this thing started out. It's just incredible how he did it.
Yeah, because you got a couple things. Because I know you were telling me about
Oh yeah,
Superman that we're gonna talk about in a
which
little
is
bit.
your fault. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, so okay.
Yeah. The slave one, yeah, man. Absolutely, man. That slave one is just, whew, I love it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Slave one for life. Yeah, it's floor, like
this is really cool to show you.
let me see.
Hang on.
Yes.
So
But yeah.
when our friend gets the mannequins,
Mm.
he completely, I mean, he'll take a mannequin and he cuts it down to size. So he hit it at Alex legit. The shoulders. He's got to widen the shoulders. But then this just I want people to see that what went into this,
Yeah.
cutting it down. And
You want me to pull up? Is it on your Instagram?
it's not. I only had one. Are the pictures coming through or no?
No, not yet.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. Here, one came in. Oh, there it is. Okay. Do you want me to show the whole process, or?
Yeah. If you can't, yeah, pop up, show like how they started.
Let me see if it'll let me again. All right. Hopefully, it'll let me scroll through them, not download them. No, it's not going to let me. Give me a second. All right. So I'm gonna show them kind of individually.
Yeah.
It's
really neat if you're interested in this kind of stuff. So it's, I mean,
yeah.
these
This
are
is this is kind of how the mannequin first started, right? Like he really just dives in and just starts.
Yes, exactly. He widens. Yes, 100%.
Winds it. He like changes. Here, let me see if I can get that going. And then what does he make it all like? It's all like articulated, like, right?
Yes, yeah. He'll make it to where it's movable.
Yeah.
But you guys saw that I showed a minute ago. There, it was all scuffed up. So this is after he did the head and he sanded it all in there. I mean, that looks like that it was purchased like that.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, that's all, fiberglass and
everything by
sanded down. And he's very particular about the look of how it's going to turn out, which is, I'm so blessed this guy does commissions for me because he's a busy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so here's before the main cloak. So the details of the little leather pouch, it's very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Howard did the head on the Obi-Wan. But yeah, so here it is.
Awesome, man. Now, where's this gonna go? Are you gonna keep it in your collection?
This one's going in my personal gallery here at the house. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to have it lit with the Death Star. This is like right when he's whipping out his lightsaber, on the Death Star in A New Hope.
Yep.
So lighting's is huge.
So speaking of mannequins and speaking of all that, tell us about this Superman debacle.
Yeah, so I blame Gabe, everybody in the chat, because it all started out where we thought about, what about Superman? We've got Star Wars, we've got all these 70s and 80s themed movie props and stuff at Dark Side, and 100%, my humble opinion, and it's a fact, is that Christopher Reeve is Superman. Period.
Okay.
He is a badass, and I'll never forget it when I was a kid, and of course we have the soundtrack and some dialogue, from the original Superman that's going to be playing at Dark Side. So I end up getting a head from a friend, Howard, that I got the Marty but from, and the Doc Brown and all these other ones. He did the Teen Wolf and a couple other ones I can't remember, but so he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got this Superman," and he sent me. I'm like, "Oh, maybe and I can get a costume for it and a mannequin." And then he sends the Superman Christopher Reeves, and it's badass. I mean, it's legit looking. And when I get it, it's not the one that you're looking at right now, Gabe.
Yeah.
So and I've posted it before. So I get out of Argentina a fantastic Superman with the measurements of Christopher Reeve, and they send it. It's still in the box with the boots and the cape and everything, but I could not find a body that would legitimately work and look. I mean, the guy's in skin tights. He's wearing, it's a jumpsuit, so you see every little thing. So it's hard to get away with a head going on a mannequin.
Right.
So I was pretty frustrated because I was pretty invested already in this thing, and then my friend Mike, that's working on the Obi-Wan, reached out, and a lot of you guys have heard of also maybe Walt Wizard. He's the guy who did the Yodas.
Yeah.
And so I did a commission with him, and now I've got two. So I reached out to Howard and told Howard I was a little frustrated because the Christopher Reeve head that I got and the hands are fine, but the head was just a little bit size too big, and he agreed. So he said, "Let's do this. Send me the suit, costume." And I had already made an agreement with Walt before I reached out to Howard. So Howard's like, "Look, dude, I'm going to take care of you on this. I'm going to build a Superman body and everything, and he's going to be the best Superman you've ever seen." So I'm like, badass. So we work out an agreement, dude. I'm got that stuff heading back to him. He's commissioning to do a stand-up Christopher Reeve Superman, and I'm looking forward to seeing his, his vision of Christopher Reeve in the Superman the movie. So after hanging up with him, I had asked, worked a deal with Walt, but I didn't know for sure if he was going to agree. He agreed, and I'm not going to come back on my word on this deal. So I'm like, shit, and I'm telling Denise, "Honey, baby bear, how you doing? Are you hungry? Do you need me to rub your feet?" And then she's like, "Oh shit, what is it?" So we're like $16,000 invested into Superman. So we've got another a flying Christopher Reeve Superman that I've also commissioned with Walt. So I'm really looking forward to having a flying version of it. This guy Walt does fantastic work as well. So we've already hung all the cabling and stuff at Dark Side. So his head looks a little bit different than the one that Howard did. I really like Howard's head. This one here looks good too. I think it just depends, where it is in the angles and lighting. But it's really difficult when you have a life-size human where it's like you walk by it and think, "Oh, that's kind of creepy," what I mean? And that's the effect. And most of the props, life-size human figures, I hope that people see when they go to the Dark Side. So, and then we got Lee. Lee's. It's because of Lee that he loves spending my money. But I love the DeLorean. He kind of sent me this link, and so much went into that, and because of his thoughts on that, so much input with a lot of people. But now this fucker's trying to hook me up with an Ed 209, so
Well, and not only that, but like since we were talking about the Wampa, and we have some kind of newer viewers, newer
yeah,
watchers, you have a life-size Wampa, and that's going to be at the restaurant.
yes.
And for anyone that wants to
Thank you for
see that,
sharing that.
yeah. So you can see, and that's the scale. That
Yeah.
it's a 10-foot Wampa, right? I mean,
Yeah, this guy's right at 10 foot. He's bending over, but he's right at 10 feet. And
you know,
the one in the movie was about 12 feet. And well, they said it was 10 foot actually. So yeah. But I will say that in my humble opinion, I feel very heavy in my heart that this is the look right here that George Lucas was looking for, but unfortunately back then couldn't put this together. But yeah, it's and Richard Riley, artist, and he actually does quite a bit of work for Tom as well. Did this beautiful build. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see that bad boy, it's going to be at Dark Side.
And he's dragging a very accurate looking Luke Skywalker through the snow. It's badass.
Yeah. Let me see if I got, I don't know if I got pictures on
Yeah, that turned out pretty cool. And you can see that one in the VIP room upstairs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Is it there? No, that's just you showing it, huh? That's you
maybe
chatting. I don't know if it's in here.
Yeah, might not be. But yeah, I don't. Did you show the Walt Wizard?
No, let me show. Let me go to.
Yeah, there's some close up shot because that real wide shot of Superman was like, it's okay. But the way he's doing the close up of him with his hands, this guy does an awesome Sylvester Stallone.
Wait, you want me to show the Yoda or the? Is that what you wanted me to show?
No, I was going to see if you could show the other pictures I sent you of the
Oh
close
yeah,
up of Superman.
Yeah.
And then in his head, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, here's his.
It almost looks like when he fights himself, kind of like the pissed off
drunk one.
Yeah, like the bad Superman.
I remember when I was a kid, like seeing that scene, and I was like, I'd get all freaked out. I'm like, oh my god, Superman's bad. Like, how can he be bad?
So on this Superman thing, I don't know what's gonna happen with the second one, but it'll bring in a penny if I decide to sell it. So but I'm really looking forward to seeing. So we'll have a flying version and a stand-up version with to be determined on this deal. Look forward to seeing what Howard does.
And Walt Wizard, just for anyone.
Yeah, he does kick-ass work.
Yoda too. So he does a prequel Yoda. Very cool.
So Lee has one, I think, right? Does Lee have one of these? Lee has one, and then Joseph has one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look how cool these are.
Yeah, there's quite a few people. I remember when everybody was.
I remember we did. I mean, I think Lee or Joseph?
Does Matt have one too? Matt?
Maybe, yeah. But I remember we were the first ones. Remember, it was like I think Lee got number 1 or something.
Yeah.
Like, when we were doing I don't remember how we did it, but it was on the show that we kind of blew them up.
Brad, hush, dude. I mean, that's exactly what Lee's saying, and it's really cool. It's just not real practical. No. That'd be badass. Welcome to the dark side, right? Because that's how it would talk. Like that'd be cool if it could stand like
right.
Welcome, and then have the guns drop down. Oh my god, that would be badass.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to show you guys something cool too. That so speaking
Phil,
of,
Phil Tippett had to do with Ed 209.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You did love it. Speaking of Lee, he's at a John Williams concert tonight.
Watching. It seems like right now he's watching our show, so I think that we're a little bit watching.
Yeah. Oh, it might have been over. Yeah. It might have been over. But he got this Tron. Did you see the Tron disc?
Yes, it's badass.
This
Yeah,
Tron disc
I
is
told him if he could share that tonight. It's badass.
crazy, dude. So I'm gonna just share the one from his Instagram. But look
Yeah,
at how cool this is. Yeah, he was showing me on his earlier today, and I was like, man, that's so cool. And the fact that the blades open up like that,
yeah, that's
dude,
cool. I
that's
can see Lee jumping over his couch and shit playing. Uh,
look at
yeah,
that.
that's so awesome.
Yeah, that thing's freaking cool.
I'm the person. I think he said he got out of India. I think he said.
Yeah, something like
He
that. Yeah.
says I'm thinking that he didn't have the best experience, but it looks like it's
Yeah,
yeah,
he was showing me some of the little, you know, scuffs and stuff like that. But
yeah,
honestly, I mean, for the price, you could definitely soup that up and
yeah, yeah,
get it nice. And I mean, it just looks cool. It looks like a cool toy. Again, I was just most shocked with this part where like everything pops out. I was
yeah.
like, damn, that's freaking cool.
Hey, and I want to the question that the Star Wars bloke. Thanks for the comment.
Yep.
And I was actually going to mention it tonight that you're asking, do we have a date for the opening? So my goal is to for sure give everybody at least. I'm going to try to hit for a 60-day window to give everybody time to get a good deal on tickets.
Mhm.
Um, but I will tell you that by the end of this month, we will have a hard date. So we're working on menus, our merchandising, septic tank, just all kinds of stuff, and then just a collaboration with everything that's going on. There's just a lot going into it. Walking refrigerator, freezer, but other than that, everything is in place and is looking fantastic now. So we're
Nice.
down to the cleanup and doing a little bit of the landscape out front. So I'm really, really happy with everything. And I really am hoping to have a really good turnout from the viewers. I know it's going to be busy, but I'm hoping this is going to be a good opportunity where all of our friends in the chat can meet and say hello in person to everybody.
Yep.
It's going to be, and then have some beer and wine and some kick-ass pizza. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let's
Heck
get
yeah.
fucking toasted and get naked. No, but it's all going to be fun.
Yeah.
So listen to Gabe. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll get naked.
Mm.
Oh yeah, shot my dog yesterday, Gabe. Oh, that's really nice.
Like, yeah, sure.
Okay, okay,
So
very, very cool.
you already know I'm like reading something in the background. I'm
I
like,
know, that's why I got to fuck with you a little bit.
dude, my
So what do you think about what I just said, Gabe?
that was great, dude. Andy did that to
Yeah,
me
give me
today.
3 of those.
Andy did that to me today. She was talking about something, and I was doing. Look, for anyone that knows me, like I
Oh
get
yeah,
I get like fixated on one thing, and like I block everything out. And my wife was talking about something, and she's like, "Yeah, right," or like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And she's like, what did I just say? And I was like, you're talking about the thing on your computer. And she's like,
yeah.
cannot believe it. You weren't listening. But she was talking for like a good like couple minutes. And I was like, oh shoot. No.
Oh man, yeah. But it's going to be a good time though, and I'm going all out on this private opening for
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah.
So
Can't wait, man. I'm
yeah,
excited.
it's going to be fun. A lot
Yeah.
of really exciting things to tell everybody, but until it's done, I can't. So, but it's just like pinch me kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
if you build it, they will come. It's just crazy. It's
Yeah.
I don't take anything for granted that's happened, with all of this. And I'm so grateful for everybody in the community that reached out and helped out with the names. Joseph came up with the name from, Jason Eaton coming up with the actual logo design.
Yeah.
There were several people,
$60,000 worth of Superman. That's
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly. Brian makes dioramas. There's just a lot of people that just had little input on this whole thing and ideas when it comes to the menus and just
Well,
fun,
and
and
that's
it's been fun.
and that's the cool thing about this whole process, Michael, is that
Yeah,
we've documented it
yeah,
from conception, man. Like I was on the show where you came up with the idea that you wanted to do it, and here we are, right? Like it's happening, man. So
Yeah,
it's
and
really
I
cool.
was thinking, when I said to everybody, I bought the property and we're going to be,
Yeah,
$750,000 to build this, no big deal. But guess what? We're over $2 million on this build now.
yeah.
So let's have a good time and make some sales
I
because
think
I'm hemorrhaging just a little bit.
this is one of the projects that it's going to be great to kind of see the final payoff and all that. The next
Absolutely.
project's going to be Joseph's collection, right? Because that's the one that we've also seen from
Getting built. Yeah.
from it getting more and more packed in there to
Yes.
even more packed.
Yes.
From when
Yeah, I don't think these.
Remember his little studio, his little model, like remember he had his little studio for building models and all that.
Yeah.
Super clean.
Yes.
That was like, we're like, wow, like it
That's
looks
so organized and neat.
organized
And
and so clean. And all of a sudden it slowly all the props started creeping in
I
there.
know.
Now it's all on the table.
I
Yeah, we
know.
gotta have Joseph back and give us everyone loves every time Joseph goes around showing all his stuff. It's always a good time.
Yeah, in the year 2525, Lisa. Yeah, so that's the whole thing is when I've told him, Joseph, I'll come up there I'll come bring up my framing crew. And but I just don't want him there. He would have to leave. He's so particular about things. I'm like, you can leave for the weekend. Just leave me here for a couple days, dude, and I'll have your shit built up and you can start displaying shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Build a scale
No.
model?
No.
No. Yeah. It's like a little dark side for ants. You remember
people come in, this is terrible what I'm fixing to say. People come in like, oh, I just can't wait. People are always coming to the door and say, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you want to take a quick look? Come on. But they're like, oh, I just can't wait to bring my kids. And I'm like, oh, very cool. Oh, fuck. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
You're
kids,
like,
it's gonna be 18 years or older, dude. So,
it's a new
kids. I don't. I just see this little Timmy kicking on my glass, or Daddy, look at this! Boom, 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 boom. I'm just, fogging up my glass. I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown, dude. I'm serious. I'm gonna have to be on some kind of a med every time.
That's hilarious, man. These little kids peeing all over your.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. I don't want anybody using that. When everybody shows up in the bathroom says it's out of order, I'm going to bring porta potties in just because I don't want anybody, dirtying up my shit. You know what I mean? And I know Lee's laughing his ass off right now because he makes some pretty bad comments, and that's why he hasn't come down yet. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, Marcel. I hope that you can make it down too. So
yeah. No, absolutely.
You know what I even thought of, Marcel, and thanks for joining. I thought about, between, a lot of the artists that are on our show, what you see behind me is, putting some of their artwork for sale for them in consignment in Darkside, where actual customers that come in and dine, because this is definitely going to be, a destination place, and people are going to want to leave with some merch. And it'd be cool that the higher end people that might, want to take one of those with them. You know what I mean? Might be a really something to think about. Yep. So there's so many opportunities that roll through this place, and the concept all started from people that can't come and visit the museum here at Starkiller Ranch. And then, we're able to wine and dine, and people are going to leave feeling awesome, So.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. So, hey, I just want you to know that you're being stared at by. I don't know if you can see my cat.
Oh,
yeah, he was watching you, Gabe, the whole time.
That's funny.
This is my huge cat, dude.
It's huge, right?
Yeah, it's a Maine Coon. Man. But,
crazy.
Yeah, I think so, Lee. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
But yeah, I don't know what else.
I mean, we had some updates, from last week. I know next week, like I said, we're gonna have Alex on to see the indie collection. we had a new member join who has like a crazy Godzilla collection. It was like shelves and shelves of just like
Badass.
Godzilla figures and stuff, like the
I
vintage
love that. I love it. Yeah.
So
I mean, look, when we showed uh was it Robert that we saw all his models, his World War II models and stuff. That was
yeah.
one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's
what's
funny
up,
that
man?
yeah, because like when our buddy Alex was saying that he's like, hey, is like, is it okay for other collections to like join, or is it just Star Wars? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, man, like
Yeah.
everything, right? We've had
Hmm.
Barbies, right? Like we had,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
everything. So, and then I think that is kind of a big part of our show. That like, yeah, sure, we have like the celebrity guests, and we have the industry guests and stuff, but at
Yeah.
its core, man, it's about the collections and
Yeah. That's always the fun shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Just seeing
Absolutely.
Gus's stuff. That's
Oh,
what I was.
there's David.
Yeah.
David, you got to restart. You got to restart the
Yeah. You
show,
got to go back to the beginning, brother.
very
So,
beginning.
hey, you like that picture behind me? Yeah. So, but I think it'd be a really good thing to do like the art and stuff now that I've been really thinking about it, talking out loud. But yeah.
Yep.
But I sure look forward to seeing everybody,
Yep.
and we're going to go over the details because you absolutely will need to RSVP because we're limited, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be fun shit. So, I know I was going to before we go. I know I can't probably show the picture because I didn't hear back from him, but Michael with NYC, did you hear his next latest release? I don't know if they showed it. No. Yeah, so he's getting ready to come out with another. I don't want to say studio because it's not studio, but he's getting ready to release a really really cool piece with a really badass diorama. And he sent me the picture saying hold off on showing it because I don't want to prematurely show
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. And if they haven't announced it, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, he's getting sick. Yeah, David, we gave you a big shout out at the beginning because obviously the the artwork there, and I was saying that you were working on your website, so for everyone to kind of stay tuned, that's why.
yeah, I mentioned all your free giveaways from your launch on the website, but
Solo Fit Sandcrawler. Well, I don't know if he's announced it, so
yeah. Yeah, it's badass, dude. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. I really like the. I know. I really bless you. I like the diorama. It's fantastic. It's really really cool.
yes, everyone knows they showed little hints. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay,
There you go.
nice. I wasn't sure. I know George reached out to me today because he has it in hand and
Yeah.
just doing a video on it. So I don't want to take his glory away. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, let's see.
Well, cool.
Oh, okay. Thank you for asking that, Marcel. So the people that are watching right now, the airport that's nearest to you, it's going to be you would fly in to San Antonio International Airport. The next one would be Austin. Austin's about an hour, a little over an hour away, but hands down San Antonio. Yeah. Thank you, Lee. Yeah.
Well, cool,
Yeah, that'd
man.
be good, Robbie, seeing you. But yeah, brother, it's always good hanging out and
Absolutely.
having Tom get on here. It's really hard to get a word in with him, but he's fantastic, so
Yeah.
so
Absolutely. Yeah. That was really cool and got some cool information and some cool little behind the scenes stuff. And yeah. So
that was classy of you to mention the Sith cast, Gabe, by the way.
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. He's doing the full interview over there on Sithcast tomorrow. So make sure you guys go tune in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, everybody, and hope your team that you're rooting for, if you are rooting for one, wins tomorrow, and try to make a good day out of it. Anyone?
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna chill out tomorrow, man. So
I'm gonna be rooting for Taylor Swift all day long.
man. And
Well,
hey, before we go, I just want to apologize because I feel pretty shitty because we all run into have bad days, and you just never know what's going on in someone's life, and I feel kind of bad, but I about it. But a lot of you guys, a couple times I mentioned it on Collection Wars that about Carl Weathers, and I thought he was kind of a
Oh,
dick,
that's right. Yeah.
and we don't know what goes on, and maybe that's just his way. I don't know, but it's. I will say though, I am very glad that I did have the opportunity to meet Carl. Can't believe I was stunned that he all of
Yeah.
a sudden passed away. And
Yeah.
nothing's gonna. You can be a dick or the coolest guy in the world, but one thing that I know for sure is a fantastic actor, and
Yeah.
he it was really cool that in his glory days he got to be on Mandalorian and went out on top, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
so
And again, it goes to show, you never know. A lot of
yeah,
our actor heroes, that we grew up with, they're, again, a lot of them are getting old. They're,
yeah,
never know.
yeah. And then we lost Toby Keith. I mean, dude, that guy, that's my guy. He's so many great country songs, and
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know, cancer took him. And it's just never know. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just wanted to. I felt I needed to first off to his family that much love to his family, and it's I'm sure really tough times. And I wondered because he was the only one in the whole damn auditorium was wearing a mask, so he might have been sick then. You know what I mean? So
Maybe.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he was, but I did see one of his last posts, and it's kind of like damn.
Yeah.
So it looked like he was staying busy. I don't know the details, but yeah, it was a fun night tonight, man. I'm looking forward to the maquette
Yeah.
or puppet. My bad.
Yeah.
So I'm on
Absolutely.
board for sure.
Cool. All right, man. Well, everybody have a good night, and we'll
Yeah,
see
thanks for
you.
everybody joining in the chat tonight. It was really fun. So
Yep. See you
enjoy
guys.
the rest of your weekend. Good night, Gabe.